Hi everyone, for those who are new here, my name is Yanis and I run a small embroidery business out of my home. And for those who already know me, I usually make everything myself because, you can see my machines back here. But recently, I have been looking for alternative methods to make more products without me having to acquire new machinery and me investing my time into learning how to make everything. Ever since I started this channel, I've been getting a lot of questions from you guys on how to start in the embroidery space or how to start a small business in general when you don't have money or income to fall back on. And I completely understand that because when I first started my small business, I was a college student working a minimum wage job. So I was pretty broke. I spent all my savings into investing into my first embroidery machine and getting inventory and all of that jazz. And I know that I was in a very privileged position because I was still living at home and I didn't have any bills to pay or anything like that. And I know that a lot of people who watch my videos may be in another place in their life. For example, you might have kids or you need to put food on the table. I definitely didn't have to do that, so I was able to invest all of my savings into this business. But I wanted to talk about another alternative you guys can do for your small business so you have a upfront cost of $0. I wanted to introduce you guys to the sponsor of this video, Printful. Printful is a print-on-demand platform where they help people like you and I make customized items without lifting a finger. They will ship, pack, and make your order, and it will be directly sent to your customers. You don't have to hold any inventory, so your upfront cost is basically $0, which is awesome for anyone who don't have enough savings to start a small business, or maybe you just don't want to risk that much because you just wanted to test the waters out with your design. I'm not gonna lie, when I first heard of print on demand, I was a little bit skeptical just because I was really worried about quality control. I was wondering how I could tell what the quality was without even ever seeing it in person myself. And I was also worried that I would be kind of not a part of my business because I wasn't making every single thing that was coming out of it. But when I learned more about print on demand, I realized that's really untrue. You can actually order samples of the products that you are shipping out to customers. So you will be able to tell the quality and how well it's made before it goes out to your customers. You just have to order the sample of your design to your own home before you start selling it on your website. That way you can tell exactly what you're shipping out to your customers. And then if you're not happy with the quality, you can always talk to the printing provider on Printful and make those adjustments accordingly, or you can just go with a completely different provider because there are so many different printing manufacturers on Printful for you to choose from. And if you're wanting to be a little bit more precautious, they also have a lot of ratings on there, so you can check out whether or not they have a high rating and whether or not they have a low rating. They also have a lot of reviews, so make sure you're reading up on those when you're choosing your print provider. And when I first started, I wanted to make everything myself, which is so ridiculous now that I think about it because I'm 4 years into this business now and I only make sweatshirts. I used to try to dabble in vinyl and printing and sublimation and all of that, but I stopped doing that because it just got way too out of hand and I reached my capacity just doing embroidery. So print on demand has been a great alternative for that, for everyone and myself who want to expand their product line without actually having to acquire more machines and making time to learn how to make everything. It's just sometimes way too time consuming, and I do not have enough time for that because embroidery itself takes way too much time for me. I still want to provide more products for my customers, so print on demand has been really awesome in that sense where I can still make my art but then still sell it without me having to move a finger. Because if I were to have to make cups, make tote bags, print this, print that, like I would be so exhausted. I'm already burning out by just making embroidery itself. I am going to take an embroidery business for an example because I think a lot of people who are watching my videos are from the embroidery space, but I'm going to compare how much it costs to get started in the embroidery space versus Printful, just so I can kind of show you the difference between starting a print-on-demand shop and then a shop of your own. I'm going to be looking at my screen here because I have all of the numbers. So an embroidery machine, a single needle, let's say you're starting with that because that's mostly how everyone starts with. That's what I did, and I'm sure a lot of people do as well. That will cost you around, depending if you get it secondhand, let's say you're getting everything new, it will cost you around $1,500 to $3,000. That's dependent on what model you get. If you want to upgrade, that will cost you around $5,000 to $15,000 for a multi-needle embroidery machine. Again, it depends on if you get a used one or if you get a brand new one. Blanks, the initial inventory will likely cost you around $500 to $1,000 because you would have to get multiple sizes and colors to test out. Stabilizer, thread, bobbin, and needles, I'm going to estimate around $200 to $500 because that is about how much we paid. And digitizing software is a huge thing in the embroidery space if you want to start doing it yourself, because it can be pretty costly to get it done by a digitizer since it adds up if you do a bunch of designs. But you can be outsourcing them, let's say you are, because you don't want to invest. That will be around $10 to $30 a design. That would depend on the complexity and the size that you're looking for, and if you want to make any adjustments to your design. Packaging supplies will cost you around $150 to $300, again, depending on what you want in your packaging. That can include maybe branding things like a thank you card, some tags on your shirt, so that's up to you. And then Shopify or Etsy fees, which is around $20 to $40 a month. Again, Etsy will take fees, so it depends on how many orders you make and also how many listings you have up on Etsy. And then Shopify is a monthly fee with credit card processing fees. And that would be everything that I take into consideration when it goes to starting your small business. This doesn't really include shipping fees, but I guess this is just to start. Before you make any orders, it will be around $2,000 to $7,500 depending on the scale you want to take this. Now I'm going to walk you through the breakdown of how much it costs to get started on Printful. So you won't be needing any machines or any materials, so that is $0. The product base and the embroidery cost, it depends on which print provider or embroidery service that you go with on Printful. There are a bunch to choose from. I believe they range around $25 to $35, and then the Shopify and Etsy fees will be $20 to $40 again, just like when you make your own website. And then there will also be shipping fees, which is around $5 to $10 depending on how much the customer orders. And if you're looking to order samples, it will depend on what type of product you are making, but the samples are significantly cheaper because you can always just order one or two of the items that you want to be selling just to make sure the quality is up to your standards and you're happy with everything before moving forward. So that cost will depend on how much you want to order. So I'm going to put that at a pretty high number at $200 just so you can order as many things as you want with the $200. The cost to start a print-on-demand store with Printful will depend on your own needs. Maybe you want to start on Etsy or Shopify, so the cost will depend on that, and will also depend on how many samples you want to order. You don't have to order samples, you can just go ahead with it, but I highly recommend it if you are wanting to make sure that the quality meets your expectations before it gets sent out to your customers. So I'm going to ballpark it at around $0 to $200, depending on if you want to open a storefront for your print on demand and host it on a website or Etsy. And I will estimate the samples to cost around $200. So as you can see with the price comparison, it is a pretty big difference when you are starting a print on demand shop versus if you were to buy all the equipment and make everything yourself. So that is something that you need to think about when you're starting a small business, because investing everything you have is extremely hard, and I know that a lot of people don't have the money to do so and don't have the means to do so. So it is a great option for students or people that aren't looking to invest everything that they have into their small business just yet. Now that you know a little bit more about print on demand and Printful, I'm going to show you exactly how you can make your design, upload it, and then start selling on your website or Etsy. So let's go ahead and do that. As you can see from this, there are a lot of different things that you could be making. There's stickers, there's hats, there's matte paper posters, towels, flags, more posters, baby tees, dresses, literally anything you can think of. It's probably on Printful, which is awesome. I mean, I definitely cannot be holding this much inventory in my own home, so it has been a game changer for me wanting to make designs and not having to make everything myself. For this, let's just go with an embroidered hat because I hate making hats. They take so long. I have to change the bracket for the hoops, so I don't like making hats. I don't think I ever will, so I'm going to look into print on demand for that. So as you can see, you can choose embroidery or DTF printing. I'm going to go with embroidery because I prefer that. I will always prefer embroidery. So you can choose the color of the hat. I'm going to go with black for this one. And there is a digitization fee, but this digitization fee is nothing compared to how much you're going to pay for software or how much you're going to pay for one design when you are digitizing it from a digitizer. So I'm just going to start designing here. It's pretty intuitive. There's front, back, side, and left side. So you can literally do whatever you want on that. I'm gonna put text on here. So I'm gonna put the text here. This is one of our most popular designs right now. You can adjust the sizing of it. I am gonna make it around this size. Okay. We are done. So there are mock-ups that you can have on Printful, which is awesome. You can just post these pictures onto your website. Look at this. It literally looks like a real embroidered hat. Like, you can't even tell the difference. So yeah, you can make mock-up pictures right away from this, which is cool. And then you can see all the sides if you want to add anything. I'm not going to add anything. I just want this design on it. And yeah, that is it. I'm going to hit done. Save product. So after it's been completed, you can see the price of the hat, of how much it will cost you. So you can price it accordingly on what you want to price it on the website, just so you are sure that you are making a profit. After that, you can just publish it onto your website. This will be connected directly to your shop. Something that I love about Printful is that you can actually design your own branded packaging for them, so you can stand out from other competitors. It won't just be in a plain bag. You can always add your logo, and you can choose your perfect packaging. That way you kind of have a unique unboxing experience for your customer. It doesn't even look like print on demand at this point. It looks like it comes from you. So you can design your branding for your packaging, and then Printful will use that to pack all your orders. You can even design thank you cards, which is super customized, which I love, because before, when I didn't know about this, I thought that it would just be thrown into a bag without any sort of thank you cards or nothing. But you can actually design thank you cards for your orders, and they will ship and pack it with it, just so it literally looks like it's from you. But guys, it is literally that easy to start selling. You can literally do it by the end of today if you already have the design in mind. So get started and don't make any excuses for yourself, because this literally costs you $0 to get started, and you only pay when a customer buys something, so you are not holding anything on hand, and everything is done for you, the shipping, the packing, which is super nice, especially when you're first starting out. Shipping can be super confusing, so this has been a huge game changer for people who are looking into starting their own small business. If you are interested in signing up for Printful, I have the link in the description box. You can sign up completely free and just toggle around with the site, and if you want to start, you can start whenever you want. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope this helps someone out there feel more comfortable starting their small business, knowing that you aren't putting everything you have on the line. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.